In worship, I experience a sense of awe at the majesty of God, a God who is living and active in a transformative experience. I feel released from my own anxieties and expectations as I encounter God by the power of His Spirit moving in this place in a personal way.
I think there's something about contemplative worship and prayer that means you can't avoid yourself. You're sort of confronted with your own self, and every time I'm in that space, I know the God who meets me there, meets me in my quiet or doubt or frustration, and tells me a new story that I can live in. Being in God's presence feels like being at home, like where I'm always meant to be. Like a hug, like a warm fire, something particularly familiar and yet extraordinary at the same time.
I think the particular insight of sacramental worship is that God takes ordinary things and makes them extraordinary, and that through this exchange human beings can encounter the divine. The other thing to say about Catholic worship is that we use all of our senses to encounter God, just as people did when they saw, heard and touched the incarnate Lord. So we see the colours of the vestments, we hear the music, we smell and see the incense, we feel the touch of water or oil, we taste the body and blood of Christ. And the candles that we might have lit remain alight after we've left, as a sign of our ongoing prayers and devotion.
In the moment, we capture a sideways glimpse of God in His glory through the sounds created and recreated as they echo around. Over time, we see the work of God's hands in moulding and nurturing the young people who engage in worship in this way.
I can come into a place like this and could be feeling all kinds of things. I could have had any kind of number of mornings or weeks. And as a family, we remember who He is. We sing of His goodness. We declare His praises together, and there's something about me joining with my church family to do that, that no matter how I've come in, I leave that worship experience changed because I've reminded my soul again who God is and who I am.
I encounter God above all in the Eucharist. When I talk to people about worship, I often find myself saying that the Eucharist is the most important thing that a bunch of human beings can do together. In the Eucharist, we are united with Jesus in His sacrifice on the cross. In the Eucharist, God gives Himself actually into our hands. God near enough to touch, near enough to taste. That's how I encounter Him.